Greetings, my name is Dr. Brenda Combs and I am the ambassador of Inspiration, and it is a pleasure for me to be here today and to share with you how I overcame 10 years of homelessness and addiction to become Dr. Brenda Combs, ambassador of Inspiration. I just want to encourage you all to let you know that absolutely nothing is impossible and that you too can overcome homelessness, and those that are on the battlefield working to help end homelessness, that you too play such a major role in helping us end homelessness in America. I would like to share my story with you, how I overcame 10 years of homelessness and addiction to 26 years later standing before you today as Dr. Combs. When I was a little girl, I was very fortunate that I had a good childhood. I had a mom and a dad. My parents were very much encouraging us to get a great education, speak proper English, make the right choice, and do the right thing even when no one was watching. They encouraged us to treat people with love, decency, and respect. And that's how I started my journey in life. However, at the age of 5, I had my very first traumatic experience. And I was in grade school, probably about 6 years old. And there was a little boy there in school named Grover. And for whatever the reason is, Grover did not like me. And one day we were on the playground playing, and he ran up to me and he called me stupid, and he used the N-word, and then he spit in my face. And I was traumatized. I was embarrassed. I ran to my teacher and I told her what happened. And she looked me in my face and she said, "Brenda, wipe your face and get in line." And she was supposed to protect me, and I felt unprotected. And that was the first traumatic experience that I ever had. And it was at that moment that I feel that I lost my self-worth and my self-esteem. And life became difficult for me because I found it hard to have good friendships and relationships. And so by the time I got to high school, I decided that I needed to graduate from high school early and go to college because I didn't feel like I fit in with my high school classmates. So I went to summer school, got all my credits, graduated early and started college, and then realized I didn't really fit in with that crowd either. But I was young, immature, knew nothing about life. But it was in that college group that I met my first group of friends that I felt accepted me as I was. And that was the party crowd. The girls that partied every night and would go out 4 or 5 nights a week and then get up the next morning and try to go to class. The problem is that that's when I think addiction started for me, because these girls could go out and still get up and go to class the next day, and I couldn't make it to class. And so I dropped out of college and just started working, but I continued to party. And then inevitably, someone introduced me to marijuana, which was the gateway, in my opinion, that led me to cocaine. And my whole world came to a crashing halt the moment I was introduced to cocaine. I firmly believe I was addicted from the moment I tried it, and nothing stopped me from using it. Nothing stopped me from doing whatever I had to do to get it, because it was so addictive. All I thought about was getting high. I didn't care about bills. I didn't think about my family, and I didn't think about myself. And before I knew it, I was homeless. I couldn't pay my rent. I couldn't pay any of my bills. I lost my apartment. I was living in my car, and eventually made my way to Phoenix, Arizona, and found myself underneath the 7th Avenue Bridge and was homeless for 10 years. In that time frame of being homeless, I was shot in a drive-by shooting. I was stabbed in the back with a broken beer bottle. I was raped several times. I overdosed. I was abused. I went through trauma. And of course, I tried to commit suicide because I didn't love myself. I didn't feel worthy, and I didn't feel a part of society. I had nothing to offer. And then my life changed again one day while sleeping underneath the 7th Avenue Bridge in downtown Phoenix. I woke up and realized someone had stolen the shoes off of my feet, and it happened to be 115 degrees outside that day. And I had to walk a mile with no shoes on to get down to the park where the homeless community were sleeping and gathering in the park. And by the time I got to that park, my feet were cut, burned, blistered. I had 2nd and 3rd degree burns. I was in excruciating pain. And for the first time in 10 years, when I got to that park, I looked around the environment that I was in, and I was just like, Brenda, my goodness, what are you doing? I firmly believe that I was not going to survive being homeless any longer. So that day, with no shoes and burnt feet, I decided to go turn myself in because I would rather go to prison than lay outside and go through torture. So I went and turned myself in because I had it all planned out. If I turn myself in, I'll go to prison. And while in prison, I'll be able to get rehab, and I'll be able to get clean, and I'll go back home. I'll make amends to my family, and then I'll go to school. Turned myself into my PO, and my PO looked at me and she said, Brenda Combs, I can't explain it, but there's something different about you. And I'm gonna give you one more chance to turn your life around. And I went into my 13th program. And that 13th program was no different than the first program. The difference was I was at a point that I was finally ready to listen and take suggestions. And I did. And I got clean. I made it a year. It was shocking. I was a year clean. And I decided to go back down to the 7th Avenue Bridge to let others know, like, wow, I'm clean after 10 years. You know, I don't have a lot of money. I'm just working an average job, but I'm clean. And if I can do it, you can do it. And so I went back down to the 7th Avenue Bridge, and I saw an old man there that we called Pops. He was dirty, he wasn't clean, he was dressed like a hobo, he had on shoes that were too little for his feet. And when he saw me, he said, Brenda, I sure am hungry, baby. So I went and bought him some food from Church's Chicken, and I got him some hygiene items in a backpack, and I took it to him, and we sat down in the dirt on the curb, and I watched him eat this food as if it was like his last supper. And that's when I made the decision, I need to keep coming back down here, letting people know you can beat this, because I did it. You can overcome homelessness and addiction. You can get back into society. When I turned my life around and got back into society, after feeding Pops, I made the decision I have to help others. And I started a foundation called Finding My Shoes, and decided to provide people with shoes, clothes, water, and hygiene items, because I know how important it is that they need those necessities to survive. They're not able to thrive, but they're able to survive with just those basic necessities. And I've been doing that for over 26 years. And after I started the foundation, I got married. I had a beautiful little boy who suffered from a massive stroke at birth. And the doctors didn't think that he was going to make it. And they told me to put him in a program and to go on with my life. So I decided this is the reason I need to go back to school to get an education, because I'm going to be my son's first teacher. And I need to know how to handle his disability, and it encouraged me to become a teacher, to become an educator. And I decided to go to school, and I completed my undergrad in human services, and then I went to complete my master's. I decided to enroll in a online program at Grand Canyon University, a master's program in special education. And I completed my master's in 1 year online, tripling up on my classes. And I received the most amazing gift at my graduation. I was honored by former First Lady Laura Bush and President George W. Bush naming me Distinguished Teacher of the Year. A week later, I appeared on CNN, where I was surprised and given a full ride scholarship into the brand new doctoral program at Grand Canyon University, where I am one of the first graduates and the first graduating class of doctors from Grand Canyon University, completing my doctorate in organizational leadership with an emphasis in education. And nothing has stopped me since I graduated. I have gone on to start my own publishing company, my own theater group. My husband and I run sober living homes, and I've really turned my life around. I am a community advocate here in Phoenix, Arizona, to help the homeless overcome homelessness by helping to provide housing and water and resources and support. And I just want to add that for those of you that are out there that are struggling with homelessness, I want to let you know that you can beat homelessness. You can get back on your feet. You can become housed, and you can become a productive member of society. And for those of you who are working out in the field, who are on the battlefield, trying to help the homeless community with food and shelter, first, I just want to say thank you. I applaud your efforts. They are not going unnoticed. I appreciate it, and I speak on behalf of all homeless citizens in this country that we thank you for the efforts, for the time and the energy that you are putting in, because it is making a difference. In America, we have the resources in order to end homelessness. We just have to come together and realize that we have to love each other, and we have to be compassionate and understanding and respectful. It doesn't matter how or why a person became homeless, but I feel it's our responsibility as human beings in the richest country in the world to help one another, to love one another, to support each other, because it's going to make our community and the world a better place. So I've been sharing my story of overcoming homelessness and addiction for almost 20 years now, because I know how important it is. People need to know that nothing is impossible. People who are homeless need to know that they can overcome homelessness and get back into society. And the case managers and the social workers and the therapists and the rehab centers and the directors and the mentors and the life coaches, you all need to know that we love and appreciate everything that you're doing and not to give up. I know that sometimes it seems like you're not making a difference. I know that it's frustrating. I know that sometimes there's a shortage of resources and funding, and sometimes it seems like people don't care, but people do care. People do care, and we appreciate everything that you do. I want to leave you with a word of encouragement from an affirmation that I wrote to encourage myself, my son, and my students. And I hope that it resonates with all of you out there today to start believing in yourself and knowing that you have what it takes to be successful. This is called I Believe in Myself. I believe in myself and my ability to do my best because I am intelligent and I'm capable of achieving greatness. I can learn, I will learn, I must learn. Today I will think, I will listen, and I will reason. Today I will make the best choices, and my life will be a reflection of those choices. Today I will read, I will write, I will learn to work with, love, and value others. I won't give up because to give up would be easier, and I am too smart to waste that, and people are too important to do it any other way. So for today I'm going to make the right choice, and I'm going to do the right thing even when no one is watching. My name is Dr. Brenda Combs. I am the ambassador of inspiration, and I am here to support you, to encourage you, and to let you know that we can end homelessness.